I need danger, the hunt, a challenge. I need a great case.
So here is a hot take. Benoit Blanc is actually better than Hercule Poirot. Yeah, I said it. And you heard it. They just recently released the trailer for the third movie with him coming in the end of 2025. And look what others are saying. Cannot wait for this movie. Love Knives Out films so much. Can't wait to see what they do with the new one. Please, Netflix, stop calling it Knives Out mystery. It's a Benoit Blanc mystery. I need more of him in my life. Perhaps we all do, huh? But is he indeed somehow better than Poirot?
But you, hello, stranger danger.
Mr. Blanc, you are stranger danger?
No, that's fine, because I don't even know what that means.
You might have noticed out of my channel that I really love a mustached Belgian detective with a god complex. I truly do. Yeah, but let's be real, in 2025 all the attempts to play Hercule Poirot, adding a modern twist, hi Kenneth, well, they all feel somewhat forced.
You accuse me now of murder.
Oh no, he accuses everyone of murder.
It is a problem, I admit.
Once again, I'm not comparing the personage masterfully played by David Suchet or Peter Ustinov or even Albert Finney with the image presented by Daniel Craig. No, these are different leagues. For the purposes of this video, I compare the most recent takes on extravagant male sleuths.
Mother, you must meet Hercule Poirot.
Why?
He's only the greatest detective alive.
He exaggerates. No, he's quite correct, actually.
And in this case, few would argue that Branagh's emotional take on Poirot is a bit of a stretch. It feels like they're trying too hard to make him cinematic, or when they try to add some new facts and details to his biography to make it more interesting to the public familiar with Christie's plots. Take this tragic war trauma backstory for Poirot. It all feels completely shoehorned in, as if an emotional arc that doesn't belong here.
The answer is not so simple. Now, with the entire solution in my field of view, the arc of this case is a tragedy of errors.
Meanwhile, Benoit Blanc.
Benoit Blanc?
Oh my God, are you Benoit Blanc, the detective?
He seems to be the perfect modern detective. He's a little bit Poirot, a little bit Holmes. I even catch some ironic vibes of the Pink Panther's Inspector Clouseau, but with a fresh twist that makes Benoit Blanc perfect for today's audiences.
Sometimes I stand in the middle of the floor, not going left, not going... Oh, Lord.
So let's break it down. How is it even possible that a character introduced just a few years ago might have already outshined the most iconic sleuth in pop culture history?
8 years of doing these trips, you're the first new person he's ever invited.
Oh.
You must be very special.
Oh, well...
Let's start with where Benoit Blanc comes from. An American filmmaker, Ryan Johnson, who wrote and directed the films of the Knives Out franchise, obviously didn't invent him from scratch. Blanc is a love letter to the golden age of detective fiction and mystery genre in general.
Mr. Blanc, I know who you are. I read your profile in The New Yorker. I found it delightful. Why are you here?
Think Agatha Christie, think Arthur Conan Doyle, think whodunits, country estates, a drawing room reveal. At the same time, the sarcastic, witty humor is often poking fun at the mystery tropes and stereotypes, which is very refreshing. Would you agree?
Will you shut it? We've been over this a million times. I told you when me and Whisker are alive, you gotta let us do...
You tell your mother to shut up.
Sorry, it's just when we're live.
What?
When we're...
What?
Jeez, Mom, sorry.
No wonder Benoit Blanc is aware of the tradition he comes from, and he plays with it. He's got the southern drawl of a Mississippi gentleman, the deduction powers of Holmes, and the theatrical flair of Poirot. But unlike Poirot, he never feels like he's doing a costume performance.
You will find me a respectful, quiet, passive observer of the truth.
Blanc exists in a world that reflects ours. Messy, modern, self-aware, and kind of ridiculous. He fits right in without ever losing that classic detective charm. And now let's once again look back at Poirot, or rather modern Poirot.
I won't apologize. You've ruined my book. Neither living nor proof. I have to rewrite the whole thing.
So long as it does not include my name.
I never want to hear your name again.
Agatha Christie's creation is legendary. David Suchet basically became Poirot. Subtle, brilliant, iconic. But the new wave of adaptations, especially Kenneth Branagh's versions, they've turned Poirot into an action hero?
This is my dear old friend, the esteemed Poirot, who I knew before the esteemed Hercule Poirot. This is...
A prostitute.
She is.
I am.
There is nothing subtle about Branagh's portrayal. Giant moustache, over-the-top drama, a tragic backstory nobody asked for. And while the cinematography is sometimes beautiful, the soul of the detective work, the deduction, the psychology, often gets buried under blockbuster spectacle. You leave those films thinking more about the CGI or the chase scene and less about the mystery. Good for him, Rian Johnson knows the audience has changed. With Knives Out and Glass Onion, the mystery isn't just who killed who, it's also a satire of modern culture, toxic wealth, influencers, tech bros, and the cult of personality. Blanc doesn't just solve a crime, he walks us through the absurdity of modern life.
Now, I can handle the Matisse in the bathroom, but is that a fax machine?
In a way, Blanc feels more real because he's a little silly. He's not trying to be gritty or brooding. He's not a tortured genius. He's weird, but competent. Funny, but deadly serious about the truth. That balance, it's tough, and Daniel Craig nails it.
Wait, hold on. What just happened?
Blanc, I saw you go in the engine room. You're the imposter. We all know it. Case closed.
I may well suppose that Branagh attempted to do the same. Add these modern familiar tropes. Yet, when you try to fit a square peg into a round hole, the result will be, controversial, to say the least.
Donut hole has a hole in its center. It is not a donut hole, but a smaller donut with its own hole. And our donut is not a hole at all.
At the same time, Benoit Blanc seems to respond to the zeitgeist of our time way better. He's flamboyant without being ridiculous. He's clever, but not cruel. He's a character you want to spend time with. That's rare. Or perhaps he's just the most fun detective we've seen in a while. Craig, post-Bond, was supposed to be burned out, but instead he reinvented himself with Blanc. And you can tell he is enjoying it.
As a self-made man myself, I have to express my admiration for how you followed in your father's footsteps.
While for some, Poirot often feels like he's lecturing you, Blanc feels like he's inviting you along for the ride, to marvel at the madness and untangle it with kindness and clarity. He doesn't need to be flawless, he just needs to be human, and that's what makes him better suited for today.
I think you have something you want to tell me.
Moreover, this franchise sits firmly on the developments and successes of the golden age of detective. I have made a whole video about what makes British mystery so special, yet briefly, here each Benoit Blanc movie has different murder mystery vibe. The first was centered around a peculiar riddle. With the second, we go abroad for the exotic island, and now with the third one, that is due this December, some exploration of the past or elaboration on the reality of supernatural powers are on the radar. And moreover, in that third film, Wake Up Dead Man, a Knives Out mystery, Rian Johnson would certainly nod to his favorite mystery author and the follower of Christian Doyle, an American who lived and worked in Britain in the 1930s, John Dickson Carr. By the way, don't you find this naming with the addition of a Knives Out mystery to every new episode kinda strange? Like, imagine each Poirot's episode would have a title like Death on the Nile, a mysterious affair at Styles mystery, or with Holmes, The Hound of the Baskervilles, a study in scarlet mystery.
Excuse me!
Carr is a master of the so-called locked room mystery. However, he is less well known today than those contemporaries, and Johnson firmly believes that deserves to change. Are you familiar with this author? Johnson sees his prose as being genteel without being fussy, brisk but rich, funny while keeping your feet in the dirt, and all of it woven with that effortless breeze of step that we as readers recognize and happily fall in behind. Tonally, his books lilt towards the gothic horror of Poe, often turning from cozy warmth to chilling terror on a dime. Looks like this atmosphere is baked in the third movie of Benoit Blanc franchise. Well, A Haunting in Venice with Branagh also made an attempt at playing with supernatural powers in a dark and enigmatic setting. The result? Well, you know it. Let's see if Blanc would be able to still keep up with the success of his debut stories. Don't get me wrong, Hercule Poirot is a legend. Without him, there is no Benoit Blanc, no Knives Out, no clever final act monologues in smoky rooms. But looks like our world needs a detective who can speak to people of today. Not just in logic puzzles, but in our language, in our absurdity. Poirot is a monument, Blanc is a mirror. And that's why in 2025, Benoit Blanc isn't just better than reimagined Poirot, he's exactly the detective people need right now.
Et voila! It all adds up. The key to this entire case. And it was staring me right in the face.
And what do you think? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and if you enjoyed my video, give it a like and share it with your mystery-loving friends, and subscribe for more. Stay safe, and until next time, bye.
Any questions?
Wait, what are we with?
What do you mean? What do you want?
An iPad or like...
Fine. Yeah, no, the winner gets an iPad.